Good afternoon. My name is Nicholas Feeney, and I'm the Communications Manager for USA for UNHCR. And I hope you all are safe and well today. I want to welcome you to this special event to celebrate you, our valued supporters and donors, and all that you make possible. On behalf of everyone at USA for UNHCR, I want to thank you for caring for the well-being of refugees and for recognizing their strength and resilience. Today, we are excited to bring you an interactive program showcasing the many ways your compassion empowers refugees and creates meaningful and lasting connections in communities across the United States, all of which builds a more empathetic world, something I think we all can use today. We will visit a bakery in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, whose very business is rooted in creating dignified opportunities for newly resettled refugees. And we'll hear from an accomplished musician who is inspired to lend her voice to the cause. With Thanksgiving just 9 days away, all of us at USA for UNHCR think it's an especially important time to come together and celebrate just how caring and compassionate our donors and supporters are. Simply put, we couldn't provide refugees with help, hope, and home without you. Your kindness is truly inspiring. I'm thrilled to introduce our MC for this afternoon's program, Rachel Rudwell. Rachel is an Emmy-nominated producer, TV host, explorer, and refugee advocate. She's been a dedicated USA for UNHCR supporter, and we are honored to have her host this event. So, without further ado, take it away, Rachel.
Thank you, Nick. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Rudwell, and I'm very excited to join all of you for a celebration this afternoon. Today is about you. So whether you're having your lunch or you're on an afternoon coffee break, thanks for tuning in. I have spent the last decade and a half in motion, exploring our world and its landscapes and its cultures. And this is all with the goal of connecting people to our incredible planet. It's also got the goal of hopefully connecting people to each other, making people a little less afraid of what they don't know and a little less afraid of one another. And I think we can all agree that that's important these days. Along the way in my travels, I've had the opportunity and the honor of meeting people who are building new lives far from home, often not by choice. I have seen diasporas that are built of dreamers and doers, makers, educators, community organizers, mothers, fathers, children. These are all individuals who, whether or not they had wanted to leave home, have embraced the deep work of building new lives and contributing meaningfully to their new home communities. So for this reason, I am really honored to be here today. I'm inspired by all of you and your commitment to refugees around the globe. Over and over again, you have shared just how important it is to you to show compassion and support for our shared humanity, celebrating what we have in common and being there for each other during the toughest of times. Even during this very difficult, very turbulent year, Americans continue to come together to stand with and in support of refugees. So as we enter this season of gratitude, we with USA for UNHCR wanted to pause for a moment, slow it down, really thank you for all of the incredible and the inspiring and the life-changing work that you personally are making possible. Last winter, during what is undoubtedly the most difficult and challenging season for many refugees and their families, you stepped up and you lent your support. On Giving Tuesday of last year, almost a year ago now, USA for UNHCR challenged its supporters to help raise enough money to provide 1,500 winter kits for refugee families. These kits included essential items like blankets, plastic sheets, winter clothing. The response was overwhelming. You together raised over $346,000, which is enough to provide 2,730 winter kits. That's nearly double the original goal to refugee families who are battling the cold winter temperatures. I think that is staggering. Now, winter is upon us again, and your unwavering support fills us with hope. when the world started to be rocked by COVID-19 earlier this year. A global community rallied around protecting and supporting refugees, including right here in the US. I probably don't need to tell all of you this. You seem pretty knowledgeable about the refugee scenarios around the world, but displaced persons are some of the most vulnerable in a health crisis. During this time, your compassion has been truly life-saving. Because of you, nearly 4 million refugees have accessed essential health services during the pandemic. 40 million masks have been distributed thanks to you. 750,000 children stayed in school with distance and in-home learning. And 613 isolation, quarantine, and treatment centers were set up. And this work, it is continuing right now as we speak, thanks to you. You have provided ongoing support for those displaced throughout the year. But I'm even more amazed by the way that you show up and you go above and beyond in the face of emergencies. This August, the devastating explosion in Beirut displaced over 300,000 people, many of whom were refugees from Syria and surrounding areas. You showed up and you demonstrated generosity by helping UNHCR to provide protection for families whose homes or shelters were destroyed, to distribute core relief items, and also to offer mental health support to the people who experienced trauma during and also in the aftermath of the blasts. And while emergencies like this may draw global attention, you also understand that refugees face ongoing challenges. There are daily struggles, daily life-threatening struggles. And so long after their stories fade from the news cycles, you continue to show up. You know that the journey to safety can be long, but you are there for refugees throughout the year. You keep showing up through continued support for the Rohingya 3 years on, and in many places like Yemen, the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Syria, and many more. You, wherever you are tuning in from now, are making the world a better place. Even while you're teaching your kids from home, or maybe your grandkids, you're reaching out to comfort neighbors and friends, looking after the safety of your own families and loved ones, and volunteering in your own communities, or maybe churches. You found room in your hearts to show kindness and compassion across borders and across oceans. So on behalf of USA for UNHCR, I personally am really honored to thank you for all that you do. You are making a huge difference in the lives of refugees. And not only do you provide hope to refugees around the globe, but your advocacy also helps resettled refugees feel welcome in their new homes. As one supporter recently put it eloquently, quote, "Refugees are wonderful, resilient people. Having refugees relocated to my community has been wonderful. They are loving, caring neighbors." End quote. Today, we have the incredible opportunity to hear directly from former refugees who found a new home here in the United States. So we are joined today by Jenny, the owner of the Lancaster Stroopies Company in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The Lancaster Stroopies Company formed in 2008 with a vision to not only make a great product, a delicious product, I would like to add, but also to provide meaningful employment to resettled refugees, particularly women. As a certified B Corp company, Stroopies is recognized for its mission to balance profit and purpose. The company reinvests its profits into its refugee employees and is dedicated to cultivating a supportive work environment. So with Jenny today are Stroopies employees, Khalida and Ahmad, a mother-son team. Khalida works full-time on the production line, and Ahmad represents Stroopies off-site at events and craft fairs. These two are originally from Syria, and they arrived in the US in November 2015. And Khalida and Ahmad were resettled to the US and have called Lancaster, Pennsylvania home ever since. So today they will be interviewed by USA for UNHCR's communications manager, whom you have had the good fortune of already meeting, Nick Feeney. Over to you, Nick.
Great, thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Jenny, Khalida, Ahmed. It's great to see you. As Rachel eloquently said, the Stroopies are delicious. One thing that was amazing, I've had the chance to go to the Lancaster Stroopies store, and the first thing you smell it before you see it. You can smell the cinnamon sugar down North Duke Street, and then you come upon this beautiful window, and you look in and you can see all the delicious candy and treats they have inside. So it's a really great spot. Thank you, everybody on the call. Again, we're so happy to have you here, and we're so happy to introduce you to Jenny, Khalida, and Ahmed. So we have some questions for you. Also, if you people online, you can submit your questions as well during the live chat, and we will have a Q&A at the end after we get a chance to hear from our guests. So just a really simple opener, Jenny. Can you sort of just tell us how it all started? What inspired your business and your support for refugees?
Sure, yeah. Thank you so much for having us. Stroopies all started back in 2008 just with a vision to provide meaningful employment to our resettled refugee friends that were flooding into our Lancaster community. We noticed really early on that for the kids and for those that were coming, as they got established in the school system, they were learning English quite well. But for the moms, it was a little more challenging to acclimate to a new place and have a safe place to start over. So we started making Stroopies. My husband's family makes homemade chocolates. So they opened up their facility for us to start making these yummy Dutch stroopwafel cookies that did not originate in Lancaster, but originated in Europe, in Holland, but were hard to find here. So it gave us a unique product that we could start making with the women and doing English class and providing a safe haven of welcome as they were getting started over in our.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Jenny. Thank you. And I know, one thing many people don't know about the resettlement experience for refugees is that they often come to the U.S. They arrive with very little public support. The assistance it's state by state, and sometimes it's as little as 90 days. And in that 90 days, families are supposed to become self-sufficient. Many arrive still learning English. Think of the challenges that there's so many challenges, and you can just think of everyday things, from how do you get your children registered for school? How do you find a car? How do you use the public transportation system? One of the amazing things that are fascinating things is simply like, I've been told from other refugees, is how to sort their own mail, like what is pertinent mail and what is, what we consider junk mail. And so just the everyday little things that we don't actually consider. And that's in addition to coming to the United States from a completely different culture and having to start over. So, finding a place like Stroopies to give you that jump start is really special, and we thank you for that, Jenny. So Khalida, Ahmed, I wanted to start off a little bit can you just share a little bit about your story? Where are you originally from in Syria? Why did you have to leave?
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmad and this is my beautiful mom Khalida. Thanks for having us a part of the show. We are exactly from Afrin, Aleppo. We were living in Aleppo back in 2012 before war started. We were all in school, the kids. My dad has his own business. My mom was my dad's assistant, helping him with everything basically in the business. Between the first semester and second semester of the school year ending, we had like a 2 weeks vacation. My dad decided to take us to see our grandparents, which they were like living like an hour and a half away from us. We packed everything and we left home. We were happy to go see our grandparents and uncle's cousin. We had a great time. Before we leave home, we were hitting the bomb, but it was too far from us. We said nothing will happen. As soon as we left, we went home to see everybody. We had a great time seeing each other. By the time we got back, everything was destroyed. Our house was gone by the bomb. My dad's business was like 2 blocks from the house. We walked to it. Half of the building was down. Across from the street, it was our school. We went there. The school building was down. We were hearing like people screaming outside, old people running, kids. You can see body on the ground. Nobody know what's going on. It was tough for us seeing all this and not knowing what's happening to the world. My mom and my dad told us, just got back into the car and we're going back where we came from. He took us back to our grandparents. He drove an hour and a half back. As soon as we got back, they were surprised, like, what's going on, what happened, why are you guys are back? We said, we lost everything. We have nothing left back home. And my dad, he was going like through a hard time after he saw all this happening. A few days later, he said that he's trying to move to Turkey because we kids, we don't have like any future left back in Syria. And it was getting worse and worse day by day. My dad left us and crossed the border to Turkey by himself, which was hard for him, leaving his family behind and leaving the kids with the mom. My mom basically was taking care of all of us, the kids, and trying her best to keep us safe at home. One day, one of the teams came and knocked our door. I was 15 back then. That was in 2012. They told my mom, they said that we're gonna take your older son to train him and send him to fight against other people for our country. My mom couldn't handle it. She started crying and they told us, like, no matter what, if you have no choice. No matter what, if you say yes or no, we're coming tomorrow to pick him up. As soon as they left, my mom gave a call to my dad and told them they just came yesterday to take Ahmad and I don't know what to do. My dad told her that one of his friends is moving to Turkey and he's crossing the border at midnight by himself. He said, try and let Ahmad pass with him. I was only 15. It's kind of unimaginable, like seeing what's going on around you, seeing your dad leaving the country, leaving you with your siblings at home with your mom, not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow, what's tomorrow's bringing. My mom packed everything for me. I left at 1 a.m. in the morning with a group of people, old people, kids, thousands of people trying to cross because they have nothing left back home. As soon as I left, we, as immigrants and refugees, we have no rights to cross the border because we lost everything. We didn't have any paperwork, any documents. You have no choice. If you want to cross, you have to cross when the army switch the shifts. You have a chance. If you pass, you're lucky. If not, if they catch you, you have to pay a lot of money. And as soon as you pay them, they'll let you pass and talk to their friends on the walkie-talkie, let them know that they took money from you and let them know so they can take advantage of you, take more money. And at the end, they will throw you back to the Syrian side. It was a tough situation for us, especially for my mom. She didn't sleep for 2-3 days till I got to my dad. As soon as I crossed the border, I took a van and it drove me 16 hours to Istanbul to my dad to see him. He was happy to see me and also sad to see that I left everything behind. I left my mom, my siblings, and came to him just to support him to bring all my family back.
And when did the rest of your family join you in Turkey? When did your mom come?
After I left in 2012, 6 months later, they came. After I
6 months later.
worked with my dad, I helped him, support him, save enough money to get an apartment, and we'll be able to give my mom a call to pack everything so she and my sibling leave and come here.
And you remember, so this was 2015, now 2016, 2012, 2013, and you arrived to Lancaster in November 2015.
Yes.
When did you find out you were coming to the US? Can you tell me a little bit about when you found out? What did you feel?
Yeah, so when we were living back in Turkey, it was really hard for us as refugees. We didn't have any document with us for the kids to go back to school. Also for my parents, they were trying their best for us to keep us safe and doing their best for us to keep us in school for our education because what happened back in Syria. One of my uncles came and visited us. He was in Turkey and he came and visited us and he said, I know there is no future here, but there is an organization called IOM in Turkey, which is helping the refugees and immigration to get out of the country for their kids' future. And it all depends on the families and how many kids and how many members of the families or how big is the family. It took us 1.5 to 2 years to do background check, see what's going on, why we left Syria, why are we trying to leave Turkey. And it was a lot of process. And then back in 2015, August 2015, they called us, the last call. They told us, congratulations, you guys have made it. You are going to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, United States on November 3rd, 2015. When we heard that, we were happy and we were sad also. We didn't know what's going to happen through all the experience we had back in Turkey. When we moved to Turkey, we had to learn basically the whole language again. It was a new culture and dealing with all this. My mom was there, plus my dad was supporting us as kids. We went through a rough time, but we made it.
And then you had to do it all over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were sad, but my dad and my young siblings, they started like screaming and dancing. Yes, we made it. We're going. We have a future. Never give up. On November 3rd, when we went to the airport, we were very, very nervous because it happened before. Some of the families went to the airport and got on the plane and something happened with the paperwork. They didn't make it. They told them, your paperwork gets canceled, you're not going anywhere. So my dad told us we were not believe it until we got on the plane and the plane started moving. We were excited and nervous at the same time.
And so you arrived to Lancaster, and then I want to bring in your mom here for some questions. You know, you just went through the last few years, a very unstable, like you said, you know, you came to Turkey, it's a whole new culture, a whole new thing, and then you come to the US, and it's even, you know, even more different. So, you know, Khalida, can you tell me what were some of the challenges that you faced when you first arrived? And how did you overcome some of those challenges?
دلوقتي النوع تيجي في لانكاستر شو أكبر التحديات بتاعت شاتم بي وقت تيجي في كهديك كجناي تشلو خاصة بعمل شفتات شاتم بي تشلو قايش دود
فرق ما شاتم بو مقدرة خالوريشتن وفرق ما شاتم بو مدين نزاني وأي فرق فرشابو قد كما شاتم مكتابي هاي شوبي وعندهم راس معنا غندوت تشورتي عم تاسمين بلا بغل بيجمعنا.
She's saying one of the big challenges was not knowing the language and being as a woman taking care of the kids. The kids weren't registered at the schools yet, and the transportation. When we first got here, the church world service gave us like 3 months, 90 days, and they said you guys get set up, and then after that you're gonna get on your own. She said thanks for the church who sponsored us, Forest Hills Mennonite Church. They still help us till now. They did help us with the transportation, put us in school, and also she's saying that she's so happy that one of the team member of the church found her a job through Stroopies, and she's saying even she didn't know English. When she walked to the store, seeing the customer coming in, buying stuff, and leaving, and communicating with other people, she started picking up, and that helped a lot.
So it was through that. Dovetails into the question I was going to ask: is how did you find out about the role, the position at Stroopies? It was through the contact at Church World Service. And so, okay, sorry.
دبیت شو ستروپیز بی Church World Service تا حركة اللي كنت حركة
لا جيب اسم حركة لوري ويمكن جالس لعبنا استنا ولا عبود وتشورتشر وتبو ما ربو ما تنسى كنيسة عارف.
She said yes. One of the church member, they know Jenny, and they also had contact with Church World Service. And as soon as they heard that she's a new family down here, she just got to Lancaster. She contacted Jenny, and Jenny, the Stroopies company, they're like giving opportunities to the women who get to Lancaster who don't know English, have kids, trying to learn them like through the process, give them a job opportunity, and they have also ESL class every time on their break, like after sale, taking their lunch and stuff, they're learning to learn English together, which is helping her a lot.
That's great. And Jenny, I want to bring you into the conversation here a little bit. One thing I felt when I was in Lancaster is the community, the refugee community in Lancaster is very tight-knit. And can you just talk a little bit about your impressions of how, Stroopies is helping, newly resettled families fit into that community in Lancaster?
Yeah, Lancaster is a very tight-knitted community. There's just a lot of incredible community initiatives going on. I know I'll speak from us personally in our neighborhood. It felt like as resettled refugee families came to be a part of the fabric of our neighborhoods, that they just fit in so beautifully, and they added so much to the diversity that was already a part of our neighborhood. And also I felt like they just added just so much dignity and just the way they cared for family members, how they loved each other. That just enriched the overall communities and neighborhoods that they were coming to. And I know Lancaster feels so incredibly privileged to be able to welcome and provide welcome for families that just need a fresh start. And that's something that we just love to do, and we all kind of work together to make that happen well. And I just feel so privileged to be a part of this community, and privileged that really the nations of the world can be a part of that fabric, which makes us all the more beautiful.
Yeah, and one of the things that they do at Stroopies every day that I got a chance to experience and witness is that at lunch they come together in sort of a potluck style lunch every day, and it's an amazing time to for them to connect with other coworkers, with their friends, and Jenny, something that's been very difficult. Obviously, 2020 has been a strange year for all of us. How have you been able to maintain the spirit of Stroopies during the pandemic? And has it changed your business or strengthened it in any way?
Yeah, I was just thinking how sad I am, because right now that practice of being able to eat together has changed a bit because of this odd year that we're in, and it makes me so sad because that's one of my favorite things. I mean, we still find ways to share, but I feel like, gosh, none of us would have been able to guess that 2020 would look this way. It's not anything that we would have chosen. But I do think that the challenges have made us realize how important community and how important belonging to each other and sharing our lives really is. If there's any lesson that my resettled refugee friends have taught me, is to not take things for granted. And I feel like this year in particular, that's a fresh lesson for us to not just take the things that we're accustomed to doing for granted. But you know, this isn't going to last forever. And just today, Kalita shared some of her delicious food with me. So, you know, we're still finding ways to one thing about Kalita and this beautiful family is that they share every single thing they have, and they are happiest when they're sharing. And that has taught me a lot of valuable lessons about just sharing what I have and being freely giving what I have to offer. And when we all do that, the world is a beautiful place. So.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that, Jenny. And obviously, we hope things will be back to normal or strengthened sooner rather than later. And in the spirit of sharing, I know the next segment that we have is going to be a little tour and a little production line look into how Stroopies are made. So
Yes. Yeah.
if you want to take us around, that would be great.
Yeah, we will take you around. Kalita's going to go back and start dipping some chocolate Stroopies, so we'll get to watch her doing that. But we'll take you on a little tour here. So.
Okay, great.
So this room we're in here is kind of like the room that you come in when you enter our store, where we have the Stroopies displayed and the things that people can buy. We'll see how we do with this. So we'll come through here. So this is, we have the Stroopies and the chocolates, and family friends of ours make homemade ice cream. But the Stroopies are all made on site here at our shop. So. So here is Chin Chin Nu. She is making Stroopies on the line. So I'll give you a little bit of just a little show of how we do it. Actually, if you can come down here, we'll start down here. So the production starts with the Stroopy dough balls. That's a cinnamon waffle cookie that we make on these irons right here. So our production line makes around 300 or so Stroopies an hour. So pretty soon they will open up here, and I'll show you. Right now they're being baked in the iron. And then they come out. They come out of the iron. We'll make sure we're not in Chin Chin Nu's way. But so yeah, they are baked for about 40 seconds or so in the iron. Then they came up here to this place where they're cookie cuttered to the perfect size, and then they go down the sliding board. Sorry, Chin Chin Nu, I'm in the way. And then they go underneath this cutter, and they get sliced in half. And then we'll watch Chin Chin Nu spread them each with caramel. So after they're cut in half, each one is there's a layer of homemade caramel that gets spread in the middle of each one. And that's the base. Stroopies are really popular in Europe, like I said, and they're designed when they cool then to be rewarmed on your hot tea or coffee. And the steam will remelt the caramel in the center. So this is the base. And our little production line makes around 300 or so Stroopies an hour. So now we'll go back into the kitchen and find Kalita. So. This is our little Stroopy kitchen here. So after the Stroopies are made, take them and we dip them in chocolate, and we sprinkle them with all kinds of fun toppings. So this is one of the jobs does an amazing job at. Is it fun dipping them in chocolate, Kalita, the Stroopies? Yeah. So yeah, some of them are dipped, and then some of them are sprinkled with pecans or coconut, salted caramel, peppermint. And this machine over here, I don't know if you can take it over there, that's where the homemade caramel is being made as we speak. So yeah, that gives you a little bit of an idea. And then the women work at packaging them and doing all kinds of fun things with them so they can be sold all over the US. So that's what we're working at. And our crew right now is from the Congo, from Syria, from Burma. And then we do an English class as a part of their day and look for ways to welcome the women as they're getting established here. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. So.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're
Jenny.
welcome.
We really appreciate it. We have just a couple more minutes. I wanted to just ask you and Ahmed just a couple of quick questions that we received from some of the viewers.
Well, we'll go back out to the front? Is that
okay?
Okay. They're gonna ask us a few more questions. So.
Yeah, they have milkshakes and other chocolate sweets and everything at the sweet shop in Lancaster. It's quite a place.
There's some of the ones that are dipped in chocolate and decorated.
Wonderful.
So
yeah. we have a question coming in from for Ahmed, and let me just make sure I got this here. We have what was something that surprised you about Lancaster? Something funny, or anything really surprised you when you first moved here?
Actually, the way when people were talking about the U.S. and the culture back in Turkey, it made me a little bit nervous that they don't care about the refugees and how they welcome the refugees to the country. But when I came here and I experienced it, it was such a huge difference. When we first got here in Lancaster, one of the moments, as soon as we got closer to Lancaster Airport, there was a crowd of people, and my mom said, "Oh no, there is a fight down here." As soon as we got closer, we saw a welcome sign in Arabic. It said "Ahlan wa sahlan." We didn't know any English except a few words. "Hello, how are you?" And as soon as we got out of the van, there were 50, 60 people trying to welcome us, our language, just to give them a hug and smile. And even they kept their kids in the age of a year and a half, 2 years, they let them take a nap during the day, so they'll still be awake during the night just to welcome us, to see the love and how they care about the refugees and welcoming them.
No, that's nice. Nice to change expectations in that way. What is it? Just to one more question here. What's your favorite stroopy? What's your favorite?
That's a hard question. I like all stroopies, but if I pick one, I think espresso is going to be my favorite one.
Jenny, how about you?
I gotta say, when they're made just fresh right off the press, and they're still warm and gooey. I know the idea is to rewarm them on your hot tea or coffee, but there's no better way, at least I think, than when they're fresh and warm and when you can eat them like that right off the press. So.
Wonderful.
But they're all good. The Dutch would say, don't ruin it with chocolate. Just have the traditional, But since I grew up with a husband who has a chocolate factory in the family, I have to say the chocolate ones are also very delicious. So.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you again for taking time to talk.
We also are doing our refills online too.
Oh, you're doing your refills online too. Excellent.
With the code refill. So there you go.
So if you visit Stroopies, and that's stroopies.com, we can put this in the chat, I believe, and use the code share the. Thanks again, Ahmed. It was a pleasure meeting you. Jenny, it was great to see you again.
Yes.
And I'm going to turn it back over to Rachel now. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
I will repeat what the sign said. Ahlan wa sahlan in Arabic, I believe, means welcome. And it's really, really amazing to hear that Americans are welcoming of the refugees that we have the benefit of having in our country. So Khalida, Ahmad, thank you so, so much for sharing your story. Jenny, thank you for the powerful work that you do. Also, thanks for the delicious work. I love stroop waffles. Everybody tuning in now has a better understanding of what they are. I mean, I never knew how you could slice such a thin, delicate, crispity little snack right in the middle, but seeing it done makes me feel like it's time for lunch. I'm a Pacific time zone, feeling a little hungry. That was beautiful. It is great to know that there's a place we can all get our fix with stroop waffles. And Nick, thank you for sharing that code. Might be a good holiday gift for people. I really found Khalida and Ahmad's story to be both moving and inspiring. I am sure that many of you who are supporters of USA for UNHCR have watched the Syrian crisis unfold at home, and you've wondered how you can participate in goodness, how you can support people who are having to leave their homes. So thank you for all that you do. One person who was inspired by watching crises like this unfold is Destiny Wolf. Destiny is a singer-songwriter from California who contacted USA for UNHCR looking for a way to use her art to support refugees. Destiny's musical fundraising campaign launched this summer in the midst of a global pandemic, and she's already raised $2,600 so far, which is incredible. In honor of your shared commitment to refugees, Destiny is here with us live today to share the story behind her powerful song, Whitewater Tumbling, and share a moving performance that she recorded while she was in Beirut. So welcome, Destiny. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rachel, for having me. I'm honored to be here this afternoon in partnership with USA for UNHCR. Part of my musical career has been traveling the world, singing with Cirque du Soleil. And after seeing footage of Syrian refugees being rescued on boats in the news, I was moved to finish the lyrics to my song Whitewater Tumbling. And I collaborated with director-producer Marjan Tehrani of True Films to create the animated video to reflect refugees' difficult and often terrifying journey to safety. We were able to tell this story, and we hoped to evoke empathy and really reflect it within this character of a young child who is facing this fate. And along with creating awareness, we were happy and excited to partner with UNHCR to raise some money for the cause. While I'm touring with Cirque du Soleil, I usually have about 8 to 10 shows a week and then one day off. And on one of these days off, I was able to go to the mountaintops of Beirut and record my song, Whitewater Tumbling. And I got to collaborate. I had the opportunity to work with amazing Lebanese artists that I met there. The video that you're about to see is mixed and recorded by acclaimed producer, composer, musician, Karim Gneser, who's worked with artists like Joss Stone and many more. I was accompanied by Scarlett Saad on keys and Enzo S., who's also was vocalist on The Voice in France on background vocals, who put it together, and was filmed by Joel Haj. So I hope you enjoy the performance. I'm very moved by today, and I hope you're inclined to find the animated video also on YouTube, and that the music resonates with you as caring and engaged advocates for refugees.
In the darkness of my pain, I think you're calling me, your voice so faint. Wash my stories of who's to blame, purify my path, I'm not the same. Time to stand tall, let my past meet the sea. The journey's so long, it won't get the best of me. Had to leave it all, I just wanna be free. In the wide water tumbling, should I go out to sea? In the wide water tumbling, or is the shore waiting for me? Dreams are floating, feeling still, eyes up to the skies, I know it's real. The birds carefree played with the wind, I've lived that peace before, will I again, surviving it all. Let the past meet the sea. Journey so long, it won't get the best of me. Trying to rise from this fall, I just wanna be free. Oh, these hands of fate, these hands of fate, resting in this place, oh, rest in this place, my saving grace, my saving grace. In the wide water tumbling, should I go out to sea? In the wide water tumbling, should I go out to sea? In the wide water tumbling, should I go? Or is the shore waiting for me? Should I go? Or is the shore waiting for me?
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Destiny, and also to Scarlett, to Enzo. Obviously, if we were not talking virtually right now, there'd be a huge round of applause. So you can just imagine that I'm here for all of us going, the crowd goes wild. That's so beautiful. We really appreciate having you here with us today. On behalf of USA for UNHCR, I'd like to thank everyone who's tuned in with us today. Thank you for watching and for all that you've done to continue to support refugees today, tomorrow, throughout the next year. Your help will be acknowledged, loved, appreciated. In times like these, you know it is essential that we look out for each other. particularly the most vulnerable among us. And as the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, said, now more than ever, taking care of refugees must be a global and shared responsibility. We are so grateful that you have chosen to answer this call, because together we can continue to make a life-changing impact on the lives of these resilient individuals and families and give them hope. It has been a real honor to spend time with each of you today. Again, during, your coffee breaks, your lunch breaks, maybe that quick break that you have in between virtual schooling and work. Every day you are appreciated. So thank you for standing with us and with refugees. I personally have been blown away and inspired by your care and your commitment. Just looking at those impact statement numbers earlier floored me. One of your fellow supporters, Jeffrey R. from Oregon, I think puts this beautifully. Quote, refugees everywhere deserve whatever consideration and support we can give them. Every single one of them is a light of inherent wisdom and experience. Every single one deserves the warm embrace of their fellow humans. Just think of the creative geniuses in those camps, the young artists and the innovators, the leaders of not only their own people, but of the world, waiting to venture into their destiny. It's breathtaking. I agree with Jeffrey R. from Oregon. Thank you for putting that into words so beautifully. Your inspiration, each one of you, is a light. It is a spark of hope. It is powerful. So thank you again for acting on your shared humanity with refugees and doing all that you can to provide them with hope and with dignity. I hope that all of you have a very safe and happy holiday season. Thanks. Bye.